I don't know.
Where
were they? I don't know.
We went
I don't know where they went.
Lost.
I haven't talked to them, this is just what I've heard through the grapevine.
We went to the lounge and listened to two guys sing and had a great
Yeah, you know, in the little bar area where the band plays.
Over here.
They started playing Jimmy
Yeah,
Buffett,
upstairs.
you know, and
Yeah, upstairs.
we
On
were
the
like,
right.
"Yeah, Jimmy Buffett." And he said, Parrot Head? I said, Parrot Head. And he goes, yeah. So pretty soon they played some, I don't know, what was that song?
That was up there, chucked
Margaritaville.
upstairs.
No, the one we did, he did this Elvis thing, because it comes out with a scarf that looks like it's ripped off toilet paper or something. Dude puts it around my neck, he says, put your glasses on, and that was funny, I had a good time. I haven't done anything like that. I don't know, but I'm okay. If I get up more around, I'm not.
Oh, so that's a drink, like Sprite or
Sprite's fine.
Sprite?
Is there any early morning that need to be at the airport at like 9:30? We have people that need to be there at 5. We have people, I don't know when, Jill and Cindy.
Well, maybe it'll be a.
So we gotta get this figured out, what the heck, will Skip ever change his flight?
They're here.
They're here. Lucky we got here at all. We've been slotting since about 8:30 this morning.
You've been doing what?
Slotting.
What is slotting?
Punches or slots? Slots.
Okay.
Slots.
Before you go too far, would you mind just sitting down in this little chair a minute? We're gonna take your picture, please, for being one of the nieces and the nephews.
Right.
Well, why don't I get picked?
Well, because you came in, the rest of us already have done it.
And we've already
So
been
we-
put through
so
it.
Jeff's gonna take it, yeah. We just thought it'd be easier than when y'all got here to try to get a picture.
Oh my God, right in my face. Still, have you got your
Pat is
tickets
sitting.
in our
Well,
well?
yeah, that's it.
Joni, what time did you
Yeah,
arrive?
Same time as theirs.
Just see.
I don't know if you like your picture taken.
I know that's it.
You like I really want
Well, then go back home.
Come on, get over here. Now, he knew to be here at 4:30,
That doesn't mean nothing.
and we stopped and got some beer for him, 2 of them, but not a lot, so they went through that bite. That was good.
Good. That's great.
Monopoly. I get them.
Of course, I live in a different state now, so I can't add nobody else.
Did you like that Jersey grass where the ball set up? It's like a teed up on every shot.
Plywood boarded in.
If you don't know it, you get it. Please, if you can fill it out here or you can fill it out later and send it back. What we'll try to do is put all this on the computer and then we'll try to mail a disc to everybody. But it's, it goes with the father and the mother and blah, blah, blah. And we'll try to put together.
I do not know who my father is.
I know.
We don't know who Tom is either.
You know what? You'll
Aunt
never
Hazel
know.
said too. She wasn't.
Mom said it had a lot to do with faith, that's all I
It was
know.
the milkman or the bread man or coal man. She wasn't sure which one, but anyway.
If it's a baker guy, watch out.
You know what?
I do have a tendency to get up pretty early.
Rise early.
Why do I rise early?
I've been a bread man. I think that's what it is.
You're trying to say you were the Immaculate Conception?
But anyway, if you would, please get one of these, take it home with you, fill it out now, leave it, or whatever. And if you have to add to it, just put it on the back, and we'll try to get it all put on the computer, and then send everybody a disc, and then you'll have all the information forever and ever. You just add to it and
Very
whatever.
good.
Thanks.
I'll have all the addresses.
Got a prayer.
Well, we're a celebration for Hazel and Clara. And I want everyone to give an anecdote about something funny or something that's happened with her or with you, either one of them, that you think we enjoy having. And we'll just start right now, right here with Judy.
No, start over there somewhere. I think.
You gotta think.
It was just before Christmas. And she saw in a magazine, or in the newspaper, about a gopher that you can go and buy. And it's a dancing gopher. And
She was on Sunday.
she was afraid when she read it on Sunday, she was afraid that they wouldn't have any. So she got Claude out of bed. I think you get you. Anyway, we
A couple of years ago, Mom and Dad were down in Florida. I think it was over
Thanksgiving.
I thought it was 4th of July.
4th of July.
4th of July.
Yeah.
And they would never stay with us. But they had a place, and they were staying. It was, you know, Mark Weiland's only 6 miles long and 4 miles wide, so you're never very far from anywhere. But at holidays and that time of year, there was quite a few people down there. Anyway, they had rented a car at the airport, and they had the car and staying at this condo. And Dad and I were playing golf or fishing or something, and when we got done, called, and Mom was going to drive over. Mom was never a very good driver, and as most of you know, she didn't start driving until Cheryl started driving. But by this time, between Dad and Mom in this condo, they had taken this rental car and backed it into concrete pilings, and it already had a few nicks and bangs in it. Well, so we called Mom and told her to come to our house, and she'd been there a zillion times, but she got lost. She didn't know where she was at. And we waited and we waited and we waited.
And the weather.
It was rainy or something.
Pouring down rain.
Pouring down rain. We got worried. About that time, phone rings. And there's a place not too far from us where we always go to buy seafood. And it's called Paradise. And this Paradise seafood joint calls. I said, Phil, yeah? Hey, your mom's here. We're going to send her, we're going to tell her how to get to your house. She pulled in there, said, I'm lost. Do you know my son, Phil Thompson? Said, yes, we do. By the time she got to the house, the mirror was hanging off the side. Just beat the shit out of this car. We were afraid she had hit a pedestrian. I think it was a mailbox. I mean, there was not, by the time they left in a week, there was not one corner of this car that didn't have a blemish on it. And Dad knew he's just going to buy the car. I mean, it was just that simple. By the time you mess with Hertz or whatever, just send me the bill, I'll buy the car, bury it. The way it turned out, it was, I mean, they couldn't have been nicer. They said it happens all the time down here, it's not a problem. And the insurance took care of it.
I know it wasn't your fault.
Yeah, that's right. But every time we go to Paradise, from now on and forever, you know, we'll always think of Mom and those people in there saying, oh yeah, you know, it'd be like walking out at the gas stations, you know, where, you know, what room I'm staying in, you know. That's probably true.
And of course Hazel wanted to get together. I don't know what Claudia did, but Hazel wanted to get together. And we were telling her this, and she started crying, and she said, family is never a bother. Don't ever feel that way. And we're all just, But another thing I remember about her, one of my earliest memories, was her being so nervous when you were in the service. We were at Granny's, and Jill was coming up, and I told her Jill wanted to go to the casino. And I said, God, Mother, I wish you felt better. And she gets herself into a blood transfusion. She said, I think Phil would want to take us. Calls him up. I don't know how he got coerced into it, but the next thing I know, it's Mother and Phil and Jill and me, and those were her four really favorite people to go to the casino with, I guess. She said she didn't want to, she wanted to go with little Jilly. That's what she always called her. Little Jilly.
Jilly girl.
Yeah.
I am little.
Time, beer time.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to think off the top of your head.
Yeah.
I know we were supposed to prepare this.
Had just told the two things that I was, that
Well, start
let me think of like, so the only thing I was gonna add,
Okay, Cindy.
I don't have a funny story with Hazel, because unfortunately I didn't get to see her as much as I wish I did.
Yeah.
But when I think of her beautiful blue eyes and her soft voice.
And
And her just being so sweet, and we always had so much fun whenever we got together, you
And
know?
she always seemed like she was happy to see us.
Oh,
That
she
was
was.
good.
She was just like her. She had such a soft voice. She always just so sweet and soft, you know, her pretty blue eyes. That's what I think of.
She'd call me and say, those goddamn Lansing people are coming.
Coming here.
Well, she put on her sweet face.
Yeah, we never caught on.
Okay.
I second that. Just the way she always made you feel so welcome.
Yeah, just so sweet.
Right from the.
Oh, her voice.
from the-
That's
I
what I
love
miss.
being down in the basement room around the bar, playing those stupid games that Clay would make
Paid for
up.
our drinks. Joe Potty turned the light
Yeah,
out.
he
get the
always
lights turned on.
tells.
Drunken Tuesday.
That's funny, huh?
It started out Drunken Tuesday, then it was Thursday, then it was whatever, and those to me were really good times.
Wasted
for-
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wasted Wednesday, where we'd go over to Grandma's house and sit at her kitchen table and you'd talk, and then we'd pretty soon get the beer out, and, you know, we'd sit around.
Those were shopping days. Shopping days.
Well, anyway,
Drunken Tuesday started with Uncle Claude, and Hazel said, well, come on over and we'll have lunch, and we just had such a ball. She always took me to lunch, and we might have done something else, but the one thing that sticks out in my mind, she liked her car the way I liked mine, and so we discussed cars. She did a good job of driving, I think it was your town car, by the way, she didn't bang into anything when she took us to lunch. Anyway, one day she needed to buy something for her car, so Aunt Hazel introduced me to the AutoZone auto parts store. So whenever I see a commercial or see one of those stores, I think about Aunt Hazel.
I can imagine her ever going to one of those stores. What the hell was she buying?
I think she needed a little trash console or something to hold something in the car.
Yeah, the whole
Side mirrors.
Is that the inside here?
no, she was patching it all up before she brought the car back to your car, probably.
I can't imagine her
She
going
was
to
trying to turn in the parts you had knocked off.
She had a Dodge or a Chrysler convertible or something
Chrysler,
that
she had
she
it.
really loved,
Yeah.
yeah. So we went shopping
She
for
sold it to her.
cars.
She said, the last one she had was like a 95, because I think in the Sebring.
At the parties, we're walking in to their place, and Hazel will be there, coming up, give me a hug and a kiss, and always felt welcome. And sometimes we'd be on the golf course, we'd be going down the fairway, which is right in front of where the place was. If we wanted a beer, we knew where to stop. But, actually, Susan had a story about something she heard.
Because it will be embarrassing for Anna.
Now you really gotta tell it.
Anna was going to celebrate her 69th birthday, and we were all going to go to Disneyland and Universal Studios. That was Glenn and Chief and Charlie and I and Jim and Melba. But the story's still there. She was on the phone with Hazel, and she was telling Hazel, I think Hazel might have called when we were in the hotel room or something, telling Hazel that we were going to go to Disneyland and celebrate her 69th birthday. And on the other end, Hazel says, oh no, Mel, it's not your 69th, it's your 70th.
Maybe I can try that.
Hayes, you're wrong, it's not my 70th, it's my 69th. And we're going to Disneyland for my 69th. So Hazel says, think of it, Melba. I'm 5 years older than you. 4 years older than you. And I just turned 74. So that means you're turning 70. And the look on Nan's face is just...
Was she right?
It's like,
Yes, she was right. Where I was at. I mean, that's true.
so that was...
Does that make me a year younger too, or what?
No, you made it in time, no matter what.
But on a lighter note, I just always loved Hazel, and I just want to, since Claude's here, I will tell you that your presence and your wife's presence at my daughter's wedding was priceless.
Thank you.
I certainly think.
We enjoyed it too.
was-
I don't really want to get into these stories. I don't have anything I really want to talk about.
After watching his golf swing, I can understand.
All right, Bugsy, to you.
Okay, Bugs,
She passes.
stand up, not right now, okay.
She passes. Just want to say that I had a wonderful mother-in-law, as everyone knows, and how blessed was I to have a mother-in-law, Hazel Thompson. I knew I sort of had a good husband. I didn't realize I was getting such a good mother. Shaky with him, but
Found out the mother-in-law was better than the husband.
Kept you together all these years.
and the father-in-law was like like, oh.
Rather iffy.
Yeah.
She still hasn't made up her mind. It's still rather iffy.
I understand.
That's all I can say about Hazel. She was special and
Oh, wasn't she?
special to us and to all our friends at home too. Everyone loved her.
Things I could say, but I just really remember one of the times when we were up there and visiting, and I don't know exactly when, Uncle Claudia, you probably can remember. But anyway, Hazel had invited us over for like a light breakfast. I mean, it was no big deal. I mean, it was just like, well, you know, come on by before you leave, go back to Nashville. You know, we'll have a little breakfast here and all, you know, wasn't bacon and eggs or anything like that. Anyway, she got there, she had sweet rolls and she had this and we had cereal and, you know, she said, what would you like, Sandy? And I said, oh, I think just a bowl of Rice Krispies would be right. She brought out the most elegant tray of Rice Krispies I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was like with the cream pitcher and the milk. It was like served on a silver platter. I will never forget it as long as I live. No matter where I've been, I have never been served like that. Mom told me later, she said, that's just the way Aunt Hazel lives. You know what I mean? I said, I have had Rice Krispies all my life, but never been served. So I just thought that was just wonderful. And then I'll never forget when we had the family reunion way back on the little house on Fernwood, and we had no money or anything, and I'm stir frying all those vegetables, and Hazel took up enough money to buy me a wok. I still got it. We still have it. We still use it. Yeah.
You know, when you look back, there's so many memories that you can't pinpoint any one thing, because everybody, when I first went to Diesel College in '66, Hazel got me all my towels. You know, we visited. She said, oh, you gotta have this, you gotta have this, you gotta have this. But I think probably the best memories is when we had the big family reunion in Nashville, and it was 115 degrees under the patio, and everybody we had a hell of a time.
It was hot that day.
We went out to the lake, had the pontoon boat, and everything was fine until Hazel and Clara got on the boat. And then we couldn't even get it off the rocks. Everybody was on it. Hazel and Clara on it, and the damn thing wouldn't on. Y'all gotta get it. Somebody gotta get off so we can get it off the rocks and get it in the water. And then we had a good time till we came back. But it was fun. We
Watch them, everybody gets on.
And I got one more thing to say about Claudia, and this is when we had the family reunion in Poplar Bluff. Claudia told Phil and I, said, well, y'all can go in and have a few drinks on me. Came back next day. What the hell did you do, by the bar? Oh yeah.
As I remember,
we had a good time.
they all drank all night.
I got tears in my beer.
So we got drunk at night.
We were popular. We were buying drinks for everybody else.
People kept telling us what a good time they had in our bar.
It was nothing like being a star in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, you know?
Well, thanks from people.
And we kept them in business for 2 years.
Joni?
I'm not sure what to say about my grandmother, other than she was the best grandmother in the world. Great person to go to if you needed somebody to talk to or you needed someone to cheer you up, because of her great sense of humor. She always cheered you up. She always gave you good advice. She was just wonderful. Funny story, I'm trying to think of something. Recently, as you guys probably know, we all live in the same colonial village. It's the name of the subdivision, and I recently moved, but I lived on Boston, where she had lived for years, and Mom and Dad lived around the corner, and Sandy lives down the street, and Phil lives on the same street as my mom and dad. And they actually,
I got out while the getting was good.
Something like the Fuggins family. The Fuggins all live on the same.
in fact, when my grandmother sold her house to Judy's son bought it, and moved to Colonial Woods, the retirement center, my husband goes, I could like see her house from my house, because I lived right on Boston there, and Steve, my husband goes, that's nice, your grandmother lived closer to you. You know, it's 5 blocks. So anyway, but this should be Sandy's story, but there is these crows that Sandy and her grandma nicknamed them Effie, which was grandma's mother-in-law, Effie, Howard, and Marie. In-laws, and they were all ex-husbands.
Dad's side of the face.
She looks out the window, you can see this big parking lot. There's old Sandy's damn crows. Go back to Sandy's house. And I drive home, and I said, go back to Mother's. And I drive home one time, and I had a fence, and there's these 3 damn crows, blackbirds up there, and my son, yeah, my son goes, what are those birds doing sitting on my house? And I go, Effie, Clara, and Sandy's house, and yelling at them. And my son goes, what the hell?
The funny part is that there'll be Effie and Marie and Howard, and Howard's usually in the middle, and they squawk, 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 and he goes and sits in the bush.
Nobody's gonna answer?
Then we pass them around the neighborhood.
Oh, it's called waiting. It's the waiting. It's this, friends. I don't know what you did. What would it be?
That's jam. I'll bet that's our sunshine. We'll call back anyway.
That was a good
Okay.
start.
Okay, who would come in next? Oh, okay.
Well, I guess just about everything has been said that I, could get in on with Hazel. But my most intimate times, my most wonderful memories are when I'd call her on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Or I'd call her, I can't say this.
I know.
I call her on Christmas, just her and I. And I would just talk, and we would just talk. And that meant more to me. And just shortly before she got really bad, I called her, and we talked. And she said, I'm so glad you called me. And I said, I'm so glad I did too. And that really were the times that meant the most to me, because it was the one.
It meant a lot to Mom, too, I told Crystal.
And then my mother. If you talk about my mom, I have to say something funny. I mean, it's just my mom. So I think the one thing that sticks out of my mind is we all used to go shopping. This was years ago, when we had Knapstown down, this big department store, and they had this fancy place, this mezzanine, that sold all these expensive dishes and flower arrangements and all kinds of stuff. You lose, I got it.
Yeah, think of a new one now.
And here's this pot, and it has these beautiful flowers in
About
it.
the size of this
And Mother
table.
was redoing her living room. And she went over and she said, oh, now, these are beautiful. And she's picking through them like this. And she says, yeah, thank God. And all of a sudden I look and say, my God, Mother, that's an arrangement.
She just destroyed it, and it was a real expensive, big arrangement. And she's saying diamonds are in there. Oh my God! Pulled all the flowers out of the middle. Oh my God! So she just put them back in, and away we went.
In a hurry.
Oh, we just can't take you anyplace, Mother. It's true.
All the time she
started
could
thinking
weed.
about the funny stories in our family.
You're next.
I just want to say, when I was down at Claudia and Hazel was always very welcoming with open arms, and so did Claudia. So I look forward to going to Decatur. And all I can say about Clara, she's a great mother-in-law.
Your turn, Jim. That's Jill that cries with the ruffle ahead.
You got lots of good stories.
No, I don't. Yeah. Claudia and Hazel never made me feel welcome.
She's finally caught on.
I never was.
Hazel tried to make you feel welcome after Claudia just said,
Yeah, made you feel unwelcome. Get the hot dogs since you're at your side of the family.
I think we're just grateful for Taylorville and got you guys to at least come down to
That's
Decatur.
Oh God.
I thought you meant to get rid of us on the
No.
Yeah, on the Taylorville.
Hide the stakes
Oh,
and get out
God,
the
it's
hot
hard.
dogs. Hazel's family's coming.
Well, I've never been to Lansing.
Cindy.
See that
you don't.
You kept sneaking around it.
It's not close to him.
You should have gone to
Let's keep up the good work.
I went once, never been back.
I was playing golf today. These guys had signs on their shirts and stuff. They had wings and all kinds of stuff. It was awful, Dad.
Now, when's your name? Let Jill finish, please, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when I was home for Christmas, I went back to Florida and everyone's like,
Oh.
what'd you do for New Year's? And I said, I slept with my grandmother.
You got another word,
We just pushed that.
Probably Skip or something.
I want you all to know that Jill was marvelous with me.
Yes,
She
she
was
was.
absolutely
Yes,
marvelous.
yes,
She was so glad to have her there.
She
went
sat
over
in
to-
the dark in the hospital room for, oh my God, all day and all night
Plus she stayed all night with her.
with nothing to do, nobody to talk to, because Mother most of the time was asleep.
You know, the nicest thing is, when I was sitting there and I kind of have my head on her bed like that, and she'd be out, and every now and then she'd look over, and you could just see, she would, just the look on her face knowing that you were there.
Yes.
And she sat her up on the side of the hospital bed, and I wanted to sit up and, you know, held on to her for a long time. But the best thing was you went over to see her one night, and my God, it's 11 o'clock, and I thought, well, she must have gone over to see Sandy or somebody. No, she comes home, and I says, you've been to Mother's all that time? And she says, she wouldn't shut up. She just kept talking.
Well, I went over there, I said, Grandma, what time do you usually go to bed? And she said, oh, about 10. I said, oh, I'll just come over and sit with you and talk to you for a while. And about 11 o'clock, I said, Grandma, Mom's gonna kill me. You know, you're not feeling good, you should be in bed. And she was sitting in her chair, and we just talking and talking. And so I took her in her bed and tucked her in bed. It was kind of nice tucking with Grandma and kissing her goodnight and leaving. But what I wanted to say about New Year's Eve is we went in her bedroom, she was tired, and we were sitting there and watching, had an I Love Lucy tribute on. Of course, she must have liked I Love Lucy. She was telling me all about stories about her, and I think Joni or somebody said she was great, because if you want to know about somebody, all you had to ask, and she'd just tell you things that no one else probably knows or knew.
Yeah, she spent a lot of time in the last couple of years telling me stories about how
Right.
she met
People
Howard and
Right.
what they used to do in Illinois, and stories
Anyway,
about you guys, her sisters, and yeah.
So I was sleeping
sweet.
with her, and she was tossing and turning, and she had this beautiful comforter, and it had kind of somehow gotten on the bottom of the bed. So I felt bad. I said, I'll go lay on the comforter. I didn't know if I should lay on her comforter, beautiful comforter, on the floor even. And I'm laying on the bed, and a little while later she goes, Jilly, where are you? I said, oh, I'm down here, Grandma. And she goes, if I lay real still, will you come back up in bed?
Oh, bless her heart.
And I'm just thankful I got to spend this much time with her, and I really have no regrets. I think she was tired and she needed to go, and I got to spend as much time as I wanted, and we talked, and I have no regrets. I got to spend as much time with her as I could.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Now you're on.
There's a million memories, believe me. Happy ones. Yeah.
Yeah, Laura, that's one good thing you can say about someone. If all of your children's friends like your mother.
Thank you.
Dad.
Thank you.
That's right. Oh, is that a compliment?
Yeah.
Seriously, that is the one thing. If your children's friends like your mother, like to be around her, think of her as a friend more than just a mother, somebody's mother.
Where's everybody hang out?
Yeah, that's the biggest compliment really that a parent can have.
She put up, my mother put up with everybody coming over and changing their skates to go. So they can save the time. Make a mess all over the floor.
Cut the carpet all up.
Telephone, and there'd be all these kids were going on their knees
Yes.
with their ice skates.
So they can change theirs instead of going to the hot house and
Yeah,
spending a
she had
dime.
5 pairs of ice skates in the back doorway.
You know, before it gets to Mother, I think that all of us in this room have to say that there was never a friend, or maybe even a foe, that was never taken in by anybody in this family. All you had to do was come and say, hey, this is my friend, and that was it. You were family. Uncle Claudia?
I don't know, I brought a black girl home one time.
You weren't supposed to tell me.
Well, I can attest to that, and I thank you all very much for allowing me to be a part of this.
Our illegitimate brother.
Yeah, now you can tell your story.
I was gonna introduce him, I was gonna tell everybody that mother didn't
I
want
refer to
anybody
Mrs.
to
Phillips
know.
as mom from
Yeah.
day one. And she was just like my mom.
And she was very fond of you.
Oh, she loved Tommy. Tommy fed her when she was.
She taught me how to make vegetable soup. She always made me Swiss steak on my birthday.
Yeah, she
didn't make
me.
Yeah, she did. She loved Tommy.
And I appreciate the times that we traveled together. Some of the gals, my sisters, didn't get a chance that I did a little bit to Dad and traveling out west and stuff. And just really good times. And the time Dad always drank a beer all the way out west and all the way back. And of course, if you drank a beer, you had to stop and pee. And peed all the way out west.
None of the kids ever did that, though.
You get out of the car no matter where the hell it was at, and he'd get it out, and he'd pee, and Clara would sit there and go, Howard, somebody's going to see you doing that. And Howard would say, Clara, I've never seen these people before, and I'll never see them again. Don't worry about it. And I heard that so many times that it's like it's embedded in my head. You know? And
She was a good pianist, huh?
Yeah, he was a musician of our family.
Grandmother, you're up.
And there's one other one, is the time that I was the rocket developer, and I used to build these little rockets out of these things and put matches in it and do this and that and whatever, you know. I'm surprised I didn't kill myself doing it. And one time I shot one off over to Quentin Park, and it went off like a rocket's supposed to. I mean, it was just blaring out there. And I was in a hurry to go see where the hell and how far it went. And Mom, in the meantime, pulled in the driveway. Lucky it wasn't the same time I launched that off, or it went right through her windshield. And anyway, I'm over in the park checking to see where the hell this rocket's at, and she's going there saying, Phil, get over here, the garage is on fire. I turned around, and beautiful umbrella that she put in the back porch there with the deal was on fire, and the flames were going. And oh my
Found your
God.
rocket.
Yeah, and she just gave me so much hell over that. And Dad come home and said, you should not have done that, boy.
He wanted his son so bad, and us girls all paid for it.
And then I was very fortunate to be home one time when oh man, World War III broke out. Dad had this record player.
You have to tell all these.
And had a top that you put up, and Mom always put this plants on it.
Oh, Jesus, yes.
Okay. Well, Dad, I had to move this plant over. I mean, it was really tough to do. We had to move the plant over, do this. And one time he blew up over the fact that there was always a plant sitting on this thing. So Mom just lost it, and she threw every plant that she had in the house out the back door. And I'm watching this, and I'm going, oh my God, I got smell like this in my life. It wasn't funny at the time, but it sure was later on.
Yeah, we just saw this pile of dirt and plants.
She got so many laughs out of that. So I think I'm done. But Hazel, I don't have funny stories. They're precious stories. And to come down and see Hazel and Claudia and all the group, the times we've been together for family reunions, are treasured memories that are in our hearts. And if other people go, it just doesn't go about it here.
That's right, it doesn't.
Well, I don't have funny stories either. The only thing that is kind of funny to me that I remember is Cheryl and I spent the night, of course, at Cheryl's. Remember this, Cheryl? And we used to play, I believe it was Yahtzee.
Yeah.
And your mother would come in the room and she'd say, now you girls, quit playing that game and get to sleep. And we'd giggle and carry on and start playing some more. And pretty soon, now you girls. So Cheryl and I figured it out. If we got the prince's phone, it had a light on it. So we'd put the prince's phone under the bedding and we'd be under there playing Yahtzee so she couldn't hear us. And then my phone calls, like Sandy said, those precious phone calls.
Yeah.
I called her one time from a payphone in Taylorville, out in front of, I believe it's the Gaslight Motel next to some bar. Everybody had gone to the bar, of course. And I called Hazel because we'd been to a reunion and I hadn't had time to talk to her. And I wanted to talk to her because she'd had so much trouble with her mouth and had been to Mayo. And I stood out there in the dark talking to her for I can't tell you how long. And I just miss her terrible. She had the sweetest voice and was the most classy woman. And I really miss her terrible. And Mother, there's nothing to say about Mother. She was wonderful. She was just, I think rubbing her cheek after she died is the thing I think about the most, and how I just talked to her and rubbed her cheek.
Tell them about when you told Mother that story about you were taking her to the store and you asked her if she had much to get and she got mad. Mother wasn't always borrowing.
Well, I had an appointment somewhere, and a rare time in 30 years that I took her to the store. I said, Mom, I'm really in a hurry. Do you have much to get? Well, if you don't want to take me to the store, you shouldn't have come and picked me up. She started walking home, and I said, Mother, get in the car. I'm not getting in the damn car. I don't know what the hell that was about. She must have been going through a change or something. No.
This was just the other day when you watched it.
It was not.
Okay, Claudia, I'm sure you have something to say about Clara.
How much she owes him.
I don't think we're ready for that.
Come on, Claudia, make her roll over.
Oh, God.
I have nothing but just wonderful memories of Clara. Nobody
Okay, I know you
I'd like
liked her.
Oh, she
to
loved
tease
me so
her more than anybody else. And you all said everything about Hayes, and I don't have anything to say there.
It's kind of hard. It's hard to keep that inside, and after everybody's gone, you'll think of 50 million things you want to say.
Mother used to laugh so the tears were in her eyes. She'd say, "That goddamn Claudia."
Oh, she would. She just
When she talked to me
couldn't
on
hardly
the
wait to
telephone,
get down
she'd
and see
say, have
you.
you talked to Hazel and that goddamn Claudia lately? Maybe they changed the name, goddamn.
Talking about that, the thing I can remember is going to Granny's on the holidays, Thanksgiving, the day after Christmas, whatever. And y'all get rid of it. Hell, go to the movies. Y'all get the hell out of here. We want to play cars.
Shipped us out. Yep, I remember that.
The only thing Claire ever told me was, don't say a damn word about her when I'm down here. All the rest of them, she promised to keep them up here.
Tell him about the hat.
The hat.
He bought he was going to take her on a trip. So he bought one of those caps that have wouldn't you like to see your mother's picture on a milk carton?
Your mother-in-law's picture.
So he turns it around, and she doesn't see it, and she doesn't see it, and she doesn't see it, and he's trying everything he can to get
I
her
wore it for
attention.
3 days every day on the trip, and she never would see it. So she was sitting behind me in the seat, so I put the damn thing on backwards so she could read this.
Finally, she got it.
What it said was happiness of seeing your
Yeah.
mother-in-law's face on a milk
Yeah,
carton.
But funnier than that, she loved to go out and eat, and there was one little restaurant she loved to have all the kids take her to. It was a little buffet restaurant, and it was about a week before she died. Well, went out there, and she's sitting down. She loved one thing in this restaurant. She loves to steal the rolls.
Oh, she did, the
And
muffins.
she'd get the muffins in her table and put them over there, and I'm sitting there watching her across from the table.
Oh, God, yes, apple
The
muffins.
waitress is standing right beside us, and she's going,
Mother stole nothing.
bending way over. I thought she was going to fall out of her chair. And I said, can I help you? And she says, no, I'm trying to get these damn muffins
says,
in my
"I
pocket. I can't.
My damn pocket. She says, I like these right before I go to bed. Oh, my God, I was so embarrassed.
On those muffins.
The thing
I didn't know she
And Hazel, you.
The thing that I'm going to say to you all is not now. This is what happened when I was a little girl that I remember. Because what you've all said takes care of what, because being the baby of the family and being so many years difference between like the with Clara, there were 12 years between she and I, and with Hazel, there was 4 years, as she reminded me. Over and over
Sure about
again. But when we were little girls, I was, you aren't gonna believe this, I was really quiet. I was very bashful. I was a perfect little sister. And you've got to remember now that Hazel graduated from high school the next year after I was going to enter school. But I was old enough, being in the 7th and 8th grade, to know what was going on with my sister. Unfortunately, our voices were the same when we were little. And her boyfriends would call up and they'd make their plans, and Hazel wouldn't be there. And I'd answer the phone and they'd say, "Is this Hazel?" And I'd say, "Who is this?" And if it was one of her boyfriends, I'd say, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And they'd tell me what they were going to do. Then when Hazel would come home, I'd say, "Hazel, if you don't take me with you, or if we don't get to do this, I'm going to tell Mother." So this got back to her friends that she had, a lot of boyfriends, not boy, good love friend, boyfriends. So I got the name of pothead, not because I smoked pot, I guess because I looked like a pan they like to mash on my head, I don't know. That was the nickname that all of her friends gave me. And I've lived with that name for all of these years, and on our 22nd anniversary of school going back to Taylorville, one of her school friends, who always called me Pothead too, as everybody, in fact I didn't know I was Melville with them, I was Pothead, was the photographer. And so I was busy running around, unusual, and everybody talking, and they were all getting everybody lined up. But before we started, he came over and he said, "Now, Pothead, I want you to sit right there in the middle. I've got your chair saved."
22 years later.
Yes, yeah. And so I said, "Okay." I said, just call me when we're ready. So we got everybody lined up, and I'm over talking with the next class that was going to be having their pictures, and he hollers, "Pothead, get your ass over here in that chair." I looked around and I could see my teachers, the principal, and sitting on Mother's house. And you know, I mean, it was now the old house, not the one that she died in where she lived, but the other old house that belonged to my grandfather. Anyway, she was getting close to me. So I fell to the ground and I went, "Oh, Hazel, Hazel, don't hurt me, don't hurt me." And she kind of just took the brick and threw like that. And I started crying and screaming and kicking my feet and calling, "Mother, Mother." I knew Mother couldn't hear it. And Hazel said, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do it. Oh, I'm so sorry." And I looked up at her and I started laughing, and she picked up that damn brick and hit me.
Fool me once, but don't fool me twice.
I like that.
Now,
I like that story. That's a good
now
story.
with Hazel, I really had an opportunity to live with Hazel more than the rest of the girls, but Clara, as far as being a baby and then living close back before. But Clara was married really before I was very old, and she had already had Pat and Judy and Sam, Pat and Sandy and me. And then Judy, and then of course I was really, Phil was real young. Well, by the time that Phil came along, I mean, I was the babysitter because I was a freshman in high school. And so every summer, I mean, as you all know, I mean, I was a baton twirler. But anyway, in order to further my baton twirling, to really know what I was doing and to have a real teacher, because Clara and Howard lived in Traverse City, which was just right across the way from going to the famous academy that you can go to for all kinds of music.
Interlochen.
And I was able to get on a bus not too far from their house, and then I would take the bus and go over to the music camp, and then I would get back and I would stay with the kids. And at that time, Phil was just, as I said, just a little toddler. And I remember one time I took Phil over with one of the neighbors' house to eat dinner. And Phil had pooped his pants just before I was ready to go.
He did that today on his back swing.
And
You probably scared the shit out of me.
Good comeback.
Lo and behold, I couldn't find a diaper for Phil, and we were supposed to be to these people's house right away. So I thought, oh, what can I use? And I found a napkin that Clara had, a white napkin. And I took this napkin and folded it in half and put it around him with this top and put this great big safety pin on his tummy. Well, it was great. I mean, we went over to the party and he's sitting in the high chair, and all at once he lets out a scream, and the pin came undone, and your diaper came off.
You wonder why I sit right there. Like here goes that pin again.
And I tell you, I thought she was going to die laughing. I mean, she laughed so hard that she actually just, leaned over and everything. So those are my really, really fine memories of my sisters. Just kind of nothing, but to me, that's my memory.
You know, I don't think there's a person in this room that can't find a lot of memories to go with everybody. It's just been a hell of a deal to be in this family. And everybody.
I don't like the way you put it.
Yeah, is that good or bad?
I mean, enjoy it or, well, there's been some good times and there's been some bad times.
Well, it's ever us, for now we are free. We are following the path of God, you see. We took his hand when he heard his call. We turned our backs and we left it all. We could not stay another day to laugh, to love, to work, or to play. Our tasks undone just must stay that way, for we have found our peace, we've closed the day. If our partings have left a void, then fill it only with a remembered joy of the friendships shared, our laughs, our kisses, our children at play with their pets and the fishes. Please don't be burdened with times of sorrow. We wish you all the sunshines of tomorrow. Our lives were full, we savored much. Our good friends, good times, and the loved ones touch. Perhaps our time has seemed all too brief. Please don't lengthen them now with undue grief. Lift up your hearts and peace to thee. God wanted us, and now we are free. So lift your glass to the heavens above, and remember each step is filled with love. A light will be burning just for you, and God will be there, and he'll let you through. Amen. It's your glass. Now, at the bottom of this, just a minute, I want to tell you, I don't know if everybody here may be from Michigan, but thanks to Claudie. When the Pointer Sisters, are you acquainted with the Pointer Sisters? And what they look like? Well, here we are. We four girls are out with Claudia, and he had to buy dinner or lunch or whatever, probably dinner. Cheapskate come up and he said, you know, I've just been thinking. He said, look at you girls. You look just like the Pointer Sisters. Well, that really hit us good. So we got the nickname as the Pointer Sisters. Well, that was fine as long as there was four of them. But then one of them they kicked out. So then we argued who went out. Clara thought it might be her. I knew it wasn't going to be me. Hazel said she knew she wasn't going. And Belle said, well, she didn't think she could walk out. So, I mean, it's always been quite an idea as to who had done what. So I've dedicated this poem in living memory to my family. Mother, Daddy, Shay, Belle, Clara, and Hazel. But now I know one thing. Which Pointer sister has been voted out? That's it. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, everyone. Cheers to the best damn family in the world.
You got it.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. Cheryl, would you please come? and light this light, please, for you. And
Now at the same time?
yeah, yeah, you can get the light here.
No, we're supposed to light them off.
Right here. Just take the candle out and light. By the way, this is the family. This is Mother and Daddy on the thing. As you can see, it's kind of going out, but anyway, that's the beginning of our family, one way or the other. Put it back in. Yeah. Okay.
Put it in, so this is.
No, not you did, just put it back in the candle holder, if you will, please.
God, whatever you do, don't burn this place
And
down.
now, Claudia, would you take
Not really.
and light this one in the middle? And the one in the middle is going to be all of our family at this point who is no longer with us. So this is in honor, of course, of Mother and Daddy, Shape and Marge, Clara and Howard, Annie Beth, Hayes, and Roy, which was Mother's first baby, and our little boy, Timmy.
How old was Roy when he died?
6 months.
Yeah, I knew he was young, but I didn't know whether he was a baby or whether he was a.
Now, I want everybody to take a look, because in this book is what I've worked up from pictures that we've got of all of our family. And there's a dedication in there to everybody, Mother and Bill, and all of the nieces and all of the nephews. I've got everyone that is part of our family in this book. And I'd like, if you have a chance, to take a look at it, because I think there's going to be some pictures that you're going to get a kick out of, particularly when you run across, a picture of Dick's. I have one of them in here. I didn't even realize, I had to really start going through, so I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed doing it. And we'll pass it on down.
Okay.
And then, oh God, what have I done with it?
Okay, while you're pausing, at 7:30, we are supposed to meet at get in line at the buffet across the street. And all of us have a room, we have one room reserved for all of us, so everyone's supposed to come eat at 7:30.
Tonight?
Buffet.
Where at? Across the way, at the Grand.
7:30.
Grand
Yeah,
Casino
which time?
Buffet.
We're on Michigan time, you're on
This is
Tennessee
here.
time.
Tennessee time. Mississippi time.
Mississippi's the same as Tennessee, except we're dumb.
Well, that's 8:30, right?
Yeah, they're dumb. We ain't got no gambling. They got all the money and we don't. So who's dumber? Dumb and dumber. Oh, by the way, before we go, I got one thing to say. This bear went in a bar
Oh, God.
in Beaumont, Texas. And he told the bartender he wanted a beer. And the bartender told him and said, "We don't serve bears, beers, and bars in Beaumont, Texas." And the bear looked at him and said, "Man," said, "I want a beer." He said, "I told you we don't serve bears, beers, and bars in Beaumont, Texas." We could do it to Bristol, Tennessee, but Beaumont, Texas sounds better. The bear looked at him and said, "Man, I want a beer. I'm thirsty." He said, "I don't serve bears, beers, and bars in Beaumont, Texas." He said, "Look down the bar." He said, "You see a woman sitting at the end of the bar?" He said, "What about it?" He said, "If you don't give me a beer, I'm going to go down there and kill her, eat her, and then I'm going to come back and get you, and I'm going to get my damn beer." He said, "I told you we don't serve bears, beers, in bars in Beaumont, Texas." Bear got up, goes in the bar, kills her, eats her, wipes the blood off his face, comes back, puts some paws down on the bar, said, "I want my damn beer." Bartender looked at him and said, "We don't serve drug addicts." Bear said, "What the hell are you talking about? I want a beer." He said, "That was the barbiturates."
I knew why.
She was funny. She was funny.
That's right.
Really funny.
He beats him.
Oh,
I know, isn't that cute? Joe and his birthday. Here is Pat, Judy, Jill, Sandra.
Wasn't meeting, they just took off to eat lunch with me. I just got to on his day because I was
Sandy, Philip, Cheryl, and Larry. And which one would be Larry?
Phil.
And you're Phil, that's right.
Yeah, he was Larry when he was young, remember?
The bracelet, the original bracelet with all the
I'm Faye. I'll be darned, I never even knew she had one.
I remember it now, you know.
I know, I never knew she had it.
And I didn't know I had, as like I say, I have no idea when she gave it to me. And I found this and looking at pictures, and it was in the bag. And I thought, my God, what is that? And here I started looking at it, and I realized it's got all of the nieces and the nephews, and the great nieces, and 2 great nephews on it. Look at that. So somebody's got to, somewhere along the line, why it's got to be given out.
I don't know where mother was.
How'd it go?
Intended to see their mother.
Oh my gosh. They trying to fix you up.
Well, she's not in too good health. She said there's a place in the same block as where they live that takes care of just this, whatever kind of disease or whatever it is that she's got. And they go and see her every day. And then they gave me her telephone number and I talked to her. And she says, oh, they're making me sound like I'm a lot worse than I am. She says, I'm all right. She says, I just need a lot of help all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they all wanted me to come down, and really and truly, I'd like to go down and just...
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Is any, do you have anyone around here
I
that?
almost married her. I
Really?
got real close.
Oh, be darned.
Catherine Corman was her name then.
Did Mom know her?
Yes. Well, I'm not sure she did.
Get a picture with you here. You just sit there, yeah. We'll look over here at the picture here. Get a little. Okay, good.
Oh.
Yep.
That's it. Yes, and I want one with my Uncle Larry too. He's a man.
Well, this is the last picture on this roll, so.
Good deal.
Oh, wait a minute.
No, it's at the 36 roll.
Hey, it's nice to
So
see you
22
too. You're
right
doing
there.
darn good for
Yeah,
a
you're doing good.
92-year-old
Squeeze
youngster.
another one
I
out.
just took
My
25.
goodness, you know, they all... I'm
Well,
the
then
oldest
guess what?
fella here.
You're gonna have to take a
Are you
picture of
really?
me with them.
Did you put the 200 roll in there?
Come up here quick.
Yeah, next Sunday.
My turn.
How do you take it?
You just push this, but wait, because
Where do I
we've
look
been
through
waiting a
this?
long time to see you.
Yeah.
Good
Great.
job. We miss you. Yeah, it's just rewinding.
I missed all of you too.
Last time we were here, you and me and Mom and Sandy, we took that ride in the car down to Pana or whatever, and you were telling me about all the stories. That one guy had lost his arm or something in that car accident. And
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, it was a fun day, wasn't it?
it was
Up for a ride.
it was that ride.
Well, I forget what day or...
That was last time when Mom and Phil and I were here.
It's been a couple of
When
years.
Mom was here, and, well, Melville was here with us once too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last time we were here, Melville was.
Skip was sure wishing he could see you. He
Yeah,
says,
Skip
is
really
Uncle
wanted
Larry
to.
gonna be there? And I said,
That would be like jumping off a house at least 12 feet high.
oh man, no
No
wonder.
wonder your knees.
Yeah,
you
good
got
Lord.
on all fours.
Oh.
God, you couldn't crawl on your knees.
I keep thinking of all the sports I was in. I could run pretty fast. I came within 0.2 of a second
You
of
did?
tying the world's record.
Did you really?
And the coach told me, he said, if you were another 8 inches tall, as fast as you could move your legs, he said, you'd hold all the records in the world.
Oh my gosh.
Wasn't that something?
Yes, I guess. That's fantastic.
I won the Christian County track meet for a pay all by myself.
Well, they done.
The pole vault and high jump and low hurdles.
Is it?
And the 440. And then I run the the last leg of the relay race.
Hmm.
And I beat the fastest man, was supposed to be the fastest man in Christian County. I beat him in that relay race.
Do you remember what your times were like for the 440? Do you remember
My God.
what they were roughly?
I was down under 50.
Oh, you really?
I forget
Hmm.
this, what it was, but
Huh.